All right. Well, we are all deeply saddened by Coach Tony Ingle passing away. And I know it hit all of us hard because Coach impacted all of us and so many more. And we know it'd be impossible for everybody to be able to share their stories and how he impacted all of our lives. So we wanted to just get on here and tell some Coach Ingle stories, some quotes, but also share how he's impacted our individual lives and just really say thank you to the Ingle family for allowing Coach to be who he was and to pour into our lives and to help us so much. So we're gonna have this time here where hopefully we get to reminisce and just say thank you to the Ingle family for all that you've done. So we're gonna introduce ourselves now. Montez, tell everybody who you are.
Montez Robinson. I worked with Coach Ingle for 7 years, from 2005 to 2011, right to the end. Right now, I'm the head coach at UT Martin, University of Tennessee Martin. This is my 6th year as a head coach. I was at Alcorn for 5 years prior to getting the job here. Coach Ingle was like a father figure to me. He was my mentor, my friend. Just one of the most important stories that he just poured into my life was just when I was a junior college coach. I was there for 3 years making $5,000, and he invited me up to work camp, and he wanted to see how was I going to work out with the players, how was I going to interact with the kids, and he just gradually just brought me over to some games, and every time I went to go see Kennesaw State play at that time, he would always just spend time with me after the game. The game would be over by 10. We would talk on the steps of the Speck Landry Center for about 2 hours. And I mean, I was just a junior college coach at the time, and for a guy of his stature, his legend, Coach Ingle, National Coach of the Year, winning a Division II National Championship, NAI National Championship, man, for me as a young coach, that was it was just a blessing for him just to take the time out just to sit with me. So to Elliot, Sunshine, Golden, Tony Jr., Israel, most of all, Jeannie, thank you for allowing Coach to be with us. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of you guys' family. I really appreciate that. And I hope this right here touches your heart and give you some sense of just memories of him and all of us. So thank you for allowing us to be here.
In perfect Montez fashion, you did not follow the script at all.
I thought I followed the script.
No, man. So what's your favorite Coach Ingle quote?
My favorite Coach Ingle quote was, it's so many. Shoot. I guess, okay, in the coaching standpoint, ABCs, always be closing and recruiting. That was my favorite one. That's the one I live by today as a coach, ABCs.
There you go. All right, who's next?
Reggie King.
All right, my name is Reginald King. I played at Kennesaw from 2006 to 2008. One of the biggest things that I take away from Coach Ingle for just allowing me to be a part of the program. I can honestly say from my time being part of the program at Kennesaw State has opened up so many doors for me. Even I still work in the basketball industry now. I'm an associate producer at NBA at TNT and also work down at NBA TV. And every day, everybody always asks about time. What was college basketball? What's it being playing like? I can take just situations from that I learned from this program, being in practice with the guys, playing in games with the guys and everything like that. And I apply it to everything that I'm doing now. When I was working for ESPN, I could always relate back to my time with you guys, just breaking down film and everything like that. I learned a lot of this stuff in this program. And I can honestly say without that, I don't know, without that step, where I would be where I am today. And I'm so thankful that I was able to be a part of that I can learn from that process. And one of the biggest things that I remember about Coach Ingle after every game, after every practice, we would always shake our hand with one finger. And at first, the first time he did it, I thought it was like, this is weird, man. Like, give me some dap or something, or give me something. But after a while, it was just part of the culture. It was just something that we did. And just looking back, it just means more now. The friendships, the lifelong network that I have here, man, like, man, you can't beat it. So I definitely credit Coach Ingle for that. And I'm just thankful to be a part of it.
Thank you, Reggie. Kelvin McConnell.
Kelvin McConnell, I played for Coach Ingle 2007 to 2011. I'm still doing music. Yeah, I got some stuff going on with that, but I'm doing training now. And that's all because of the opportunity that Coach gave me, to walk on my freshman year and earn my scholarship eventually. If that wasn't the case, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, because I wouldn't have the resume or the credentials to train these kids. And if some of y'all know, I work with Colin Sexton now from the Cavaliers, and I got the opportunity 2 years ago now. But, all that happened from me playing with Kennesaw. So I'm forever, grateful for Coach Ingle and Coach Black, Coach Robinson, Coach Dyson. Even though you weren't there, I remember the messages you used to send me, you used to talk. Coach Rolfe, everybody. I'm grateful for that. My favorite Coach Ingle quote is, an inferior man blames others, and superior man blames himself, and that's something that I instill and try to, not even try to tell my kids that, like, you have to accept your responsibility first before you can blame somebody else, so I owe Coach Ingle everything. He allowed for me to achieve a goal. And like I said, I'm still using his quotes and improving daily, all those things, and helping the kids now and knowing that I can help them earn a scholarship, the same way that they helped me. I'm forever indebted to Coach Ingle, for sure. So my condolences goes out to the family. Absolutely. I'll be praying for them.
Thanks, Kelvin. Marvin Lisaby. You're on mute, Marvin.
I'm off now. Marvin Listenby. I played with Kennesaw from 2005 to 2007. After Kennesaw, ended up working a little bit in the NBA D League, player development and scouting, and moved on to Orlando for a short while. But before now, I'm working as a business support specialist at Comerica Bank. I can tell you one thing. Definitely being around Coach Ingle is his actual work ethic. It's one thing I did take with me when I used to come back late at night. He'll still be there, just working, either working with someone on the skill development, or just really just always. You always felt like he was always trying to learn something new, always willing to learn, because you never start learning. But at the end of the day, my favorite quote, and I'll carry this every single day, is desire on fire. Because when you have that kind of desire, things open up, success comes and follows you wherever you may go. But I'll always be thankful for the people that I met, the friends that I met that are friends for life. And I remember one time we're sitting in a meeting and Coach was saying, these people around you, a lot of them are going to be in your wedding. They're going to be people that you're going to have that close bond with. And that definitely came to fruition. But I will always be thankful for the time I spent with every single one of you, Coach Black, Coach Robinson, Coach E. Love all you guys. Most of all, Israel, Elliott, Sunshine, all the love in the world goes out to you guys.
JD Pollock.
Hey guys, JD Pollock. I played for Coach from 06 to 09. I transferred there from Berry College, where I was a scholarship player, and I went to Kennesaw and basically just begged Coach to let me on the team after a tryout. Happened to know somebody that had his phone number, and he let me in the gym. So I tried out for the team one day, and he said, we'll call you in a week or two. And he said I was allowed to come around and come every day. He said no promises.
JD, sorry, and I don't mean to do this, but I got to say, man, Coach was the one who he talked us into it. Montez, am I lying?
I don't think I was offering a whole lot. I believe it.
No, but we were like, man, a guard from NAI, like, coach, man, we're trying to win. Like, coach is like, I'm telling you, he can play. And we're like,
at the time, you had nothing to lose. I was going to pay my own way. What's the big deal?
I don't know. I think
We
Montez
take walk-on
influenced me.
still now. Shoot, if they want to show up and get decent grades, that's okay. You got no risk.
Hey, coach had to talk us into it, man. I can't lie, but he did.
Unbelievable.
He did, and he was right.
Even better reason for me to love him. Even better reason. I didn't even need any more, but there you have it. He's still doing it today. And so long story short, got a scholarship after a year of practicing with the guys. Had a blast being a backup player to some of the studs that were before me. And then my senior year, I had a big chance and I got hurt. Started coaching immediately, still coaching now. Coaching at San Diego State. I've been here 4 years. I've been a head coach at a junior college. Been an assistant at Division I, just kind of bouncing around. And I don't know. None of it happens without coach. Like I just truly believe that. I think that, I still have a path. It's just not the path that I'm on. And that's 100% due to him. It hit me like a ton of bricks last night. And first conversation I had with him was that day when I begged to be on the team. He said, well, I don't know if you can play dead in a John Wayne movie, but I'll let you play pickup today. And at the ripe age of 20, I had not heard that line before. I've since heard it a bunch, but every time I hear it, I think of coach. So he let me play pickup that day, and he said, well, we're going to find out if you can be John Wayne. And the last conversation I had with him was about a year and a month ago. He came and we played at BYU. And Izzy, I've been able to see a lot over the years because we keep playing at Utah Valley or at BYU, and Israel always seems to make his way over there, which has been awesome. But I didn't know coach was coming this past year, and man, am I thankful now because I got to see him and hug him and talk to him and take pictures and all that mess. And so that was about 13 months ago. And so sent him a text about 2 weeks ago. And I think I got it on here. He said, JD, I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for the prayers. I need them. Please pray for Jeannie too. She's a basket case, trying to be tough for her. That was all I needed to hear. I knew that it was going to be a hard fight from there. So my favorite quote playing for him was, look him in the eyes because the eyes don't lie. And I think I still do that as a coach. I really do. I look at players and I think some are punks and I think some are hard asses. And I'm like, God dang, we're not going to touch him tonight. Like, just look at him. And you can tell, like, you can just tell at the jump ball, you can tell in warm-ups. And that one really resonated with me. So I couldn't be more thankful for all you guys on the screen. Obviously it's what I still do. So for me, like, I feel like I never really left him other than practices because I'm still in the industry. So I do. I appreciate all you guys, just like my own players today, man. So thank you, Coach. Thanks to the whole family. Jeannie, I hope you're doing okay. Appreciate you, man. Golden, hope you're good. Tony Jr., stay strong, man. I know you're coaching, and Elliot and Sunshine. Hope you guys are staying strong. Appreciate it.
Thanks, JD. Matt Harem.
All right, Matt Harem. I actually played for Coach 2008, 2011 after I transferred from Auburn. Right now I'm actually out in Phoenix, Arizona. Started my own recruiting business in the pharma biotech industry, so I've been doing that now for about 4 years. Let's see, my favorite quote. I don't know why it's my favorite, but it's something that he always said every practice when he was trying to get in the trenches and get dirty with us. And it was always, I pick shit with the chickens, which I still don't know what the hell that means, but he said it every damn day. So it kind of stuck with me. I know the other guys that I played with, their favorite story is my little farting to starting one where
Yes, sir.
where I was sitting the bench for a minute and look at Kelvin laughing. Sitting the bench for a minute and I kind of just, whatever, like I'm here, I'll just play, get it over with or whatever. And I passed gas during a practice while he was talking one time. And the next day I was starting and I started the rest of the season, but don't know why, but all the guys love it and the coaches and stuff. Last conversation I had with Coach was actually, it was about 2 months ago. My dad actually passed last year, and he called me right after it without knowing that he actually passed. And I kind of gave him some attitude, like, Coach, he said like some funny jokes, and I just wasn't in a joking mood, and kind of went off on him a little bit, like, Coach, not funny, talk to you later, whatever. And then we didn't really talk for about 8 or 9 months. And I called him back up and I was like, hey, my bad. I don't know if you knew what I was going through at that time. I was going through some stuff, and we talked about it a little bit, and he sent me a letter, and we actually talked for a couple hours that night. So it was good. So kind of got to mend my mistake there, and kind of like what Kelvin said, being a man. And another quote he said was, when you're pointing the finger at one other person, you got 4 pointing back at you. So it was good for me to kind of realize that later and kind of grow up there. So that's it.
Thanks, Matt. Junior.
Hello, I'm Junior Ajayi. I actually played with Israel Engle in 2007 and got to know the family a lot during that time. And then went to Kennesaw State to play with Papa Engle from 2008 to 2010. What am I doing now? Currently, I'm the Director of Implementation and Program Management at a company based out in California, but I recently moved back to Atlanta. My favorite quote, Coach Ingle was just the hilarious person. And the one that I think about constantly and use to this day is, when in doubt, pull it out. It's just so helpful in so many ways. But I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity to even be able to play Division I basketball at Kennesaw State, and Coach Ingle giving me that chance. It was just a blessing, and I just learned so many different lessons from him. And you can tell that he has really, his spirit and his wife's spirit is really, they've really passed that down to all their children, because I feel like their family is just so welcoming. They were so welcoming and just so open and just good people. And I just appreciate everything that all the family's ever done for me.
Thanks, Junior. Big Mirza.
Mirza Medinic, I played at Kennesaw State from 2008 to 2011. Favorite Coach Ingle story was just the first day I met him. I was getting some shots up at the spec, and I think he was working on Markeith, or one of the new recruits. I wasn't on the team or anything like that. He just came up and talked to me, had me dunk the ball a couple of times, shoot around a little bit. And then as I was leaving, he was like, "I'll call you." And I was like, "Okay, Coach, you want my number?" He's like, "Yeah, just tell me your number. I'll remember it." I was like, "Okay." So I told him my number. Didn't think I would get any kind of call back or anything, but sure enough, like 2 hours later, he calls me back up, tells me Coach Black is going to call me or something to that extent, to come down to one of the workouts and start conditioning and all that stuff. So, I mean, he gave me opportunity to play basketball, Division I. I played at like a junior college the year before that. So when I came to Kennesaw, I really didn't have anything going for me as far as basketball. So I always going to be thankful for that. And favorite quote, I think Matt said it, is always sticks with me, because right now I work at a bank, internal audit. And like when people are always complaining about crap and talking about teamwork and this, I always think of Coach Ingle, like every time you point a finger, there's 4 pointing back at you. So it's just something I use to get me through those things. And my condolences to all the family. And I wish I could have talked to him before he passed away, but my condolences to everyone.
Thanks, Mears. John Michael, J-Mac.
What's up, guys? John Michael Nickerson. Played at Kennesaw from 2006 to 2010. I retired from baseball playing professionally, and wanted to get back into basketball. And I played at the Ken Littlefield camp, and Greg Phillips saw me there, and I did pretty well. And he kind of facilitated that with you guys, and from there it just rolled on. My first conversation with Coach Ingle, it was about we were pre-gaming, not gonna lie. I was with all my boys back in Alabama. We had some pretty girls in the driveway of my house, and we were getting ready to go out. And Coach Ingle gets on the phone with me for about 2 hours, and I had everybody waiting on me. And man, I was like, Coach, man, we can end this conversation, man. I'm coming, man. I want to be close to my mom. Like, let's just cut it off. But man, it obviously ended up being a great conversation. Visited shortly after. I think I committed on my visit. No thanks to Andre. But you still owe me $30. But anyways, no, the quote I love from Coach Ingle the most was one I put on social media today is any man can be a father, but it takes a real man to be a dad. And I know we had a few teammates that were doing what juniors, going the opposite of what junior's quote was. And so, I mean, but he knows, we're still kids, and we're like, when I was in my upper 20s, I was stupid. Being a teenager, like he was coaching in young 20s, man, he knew we still had a lot to learn, man. And, most of us had father issues growing up, and it's an issue I deal with daily. Still coaching, coaching in high school here in Atlanta. And, it's just a powerful quote, man. If you like, if you've ever had issues with that, just because, you just see so many weaknesses and holes of kids that don't have strong men in their life and fathers. And it's something like whenever he said it, like I was like, man, like I am going to do everything I can to be a great father. It's something I take pride in. I know I I was kind of wild and stupid when I was at KSU, but I knew once I had my turn to be a father, I was gonna do it right like him. And the one thing I saw in the Ingle family was just the family loyalty they had, man. Like every single one of them was just down for one another. And like when I'm raising my sons, like I'm making sure they tell each other, my 2 and 5 year old, I'm making sure they tell each other they love each other every single day. And because that's the way they acted. And it was powerful stuff. The loyalty T.I., Izzy, and Golden had for their father, man, I honestly have never seen anything like it. And so they had it the whole time we were there, continued throughout, me following them through social media. And but as far as just basketball, the thing I learned most about from him was just the accountability and ownership that you want your young guys to have. And I didn't understand it as even being older than everybody else on the team. I was 3 or 4 years older than everybody. I still didn't understand it maturity wise, but I understand it now. And I'm telling our guys in the huddles, like, man, just take ownership of your turn up, and they still have trouble understanding, but one day they will, and they're going to get those lessons from me because of Coach Ingle. And he just inspired you to play so hard, man. He didn't claim to be John Wooden X's and O's wise, but man, he could get you to just play your balls off. And it's just inspiring, man. And I send it. I'm just to T.I., man. I still remember him saying Kevin Garnett was overrated and stuff like that. I mean, he was insane, and I just still remember that. Constant arguments every day. And Izzy, I just thought he was the coolest dude. Me and Izzy used to talk about every day. Like, I'm like, Izzy, I am so thankful we didn't go to college together. He was just such a cool dude. And as far as Golden, man, I never caught another lob when Golden left, man. He was just he's just so man, he was just so sharp. And one thing I always tell my players, when they don't show up to practice hard, and they're not, they say they want to be next level players, and I just remember Golden told me one time, and I always remember it, and I still share it with my players today, is like Golden just said, hey, man, you know, you're not the most talented player. He's like, man, and I know sometimes you want to play more than what you are, but he goes, you know, you just treat every practice and every warm up and all that stuff like a professional, man. And that always stuck with me. And I try to share that stuff with my players too, man. So even as kids have taught me a lot of lessons, man. And obviously my heart goes out to Jeannie, and she's I try to find a wife similar to her, man. And I don't know if I did, but I mean, she's one of a kind, man. And you could see she was all about her husband. And my condolences go out to you guys, and I love all of you.
Thanks, Matt. Coach Garrett Deisterhouse.
See if my AirPods don't go out. All right, Gary Deisterhouse. I coached from 2003 to 2007. So I was there. I think I'm the first one on this chat. My first interaction with Coach was when I tried to get into coaching. So I was a liberal arts major at Wake Forest University and decided I wanted to get into coaching. And so I did the most logical thing is I called the university that was a mile from my house. And Coach Ingle actually answered the phone, which never happens. He answered the phone. I said, hey, Coach Ingle, I'm Gary Deisterhouse. I want to volunteer coach. And he said, are you Mormon? And I kind of took me back. I said, no. Is that a problem? He goes, no, be here in 5 minutes. And so I jump in my car and I go to meet with him. And I said, what was the question about the Mormon thing? He said, well, I was just doing my Bible study and the Lord told me I needed to bring one person on this year. And then the phone rang and it was you. So you're hired. I don't know anything about you, but you're on the team. And so that's always stuck with me. Obviously, he changed my trajectory. And as I hear the stories of the guys in this room and the stories of the guys not in this room, Coach Ingle had a passion for fixing broken parts, and I think that it stemmed from his life. I think he looked at his life as a series of broken parts that he had to always constantly fix and put together. And the man just had a amazing story. It has crushed me today. And I knew, to be honest, when he was looking to go under, they were looking to intubate him, that it was going to be the fight of his life. And so I kind of knew this was coming, but to be honest with you, Coach Ingle's never lost a fight. It doesn't matter who he's up against. The man just never loses a fight. So part of me was worried. Part of me expected him to come out on the other side. So I love Coach Ingle, and I love Jeannie, and wrote Jeannie a note today. There are a million quotes I use. I gave up coaching. I guess who I am, I farm. I'm a dirt farmer in Mississippi. So I got out of college basketball coaching to farm dirt. And so that's what I'm doing now. But I coach basketball on the side for fun. And I always tell my kids, steal it, deal it, and let the crowd feel it. And they love it. And it reminds me of Coach, and that he always looked for the enjoyment in things. He wasn't just doing it to get a trophy on the wall. He wanted to love it. He wanted to let the crowd know he loved it, and he wanted everybody who was involved to enjoy it. So I will keep it short, but Tony Jr., I made my bones with Tony in the film room. Love that dude. Izzy, used to try to work out with him on the road whenever we would travel, and he would lift a lot more weights than me. And Golden and I, deep relationship, has so much respect. Obviously didn't know Elliot or Sunshine quite as well, although I did know Elliot, but love y'all, love your whole family. Jeannie, I'm giving you a hug from here. Can't wait to see you soon. Last conversation I had with Engle was face-to-face, was at the Final Four of Michigan-Villanova, where I watched my parents' alma mater get crushed by the Wildcats. I saw him there, and we talked for a while, and then I texted back and forth with him a couple weeks ago. And we were going to actually get together in March. I was traveling to Salt Lake City, and I was going to see him. So I'm real sad that I can't see him. But he told me he loved me, and he told me he was proud of me. And that was one thing Coach Ingle was always good for. He was going to tell you he loved you, and he's going to tell you that he was proud of you. So I'll see you soon, Jenny.
Thanks, Gary. Andre Morgan.
All right. My name is Andre Morgan. I played at Kennesaw State 2005 through 2007. I was a transfer, and so I'm going to kind of let that flow right into Coach Ingle's favorite quote, which was, "I love you more than you love me." And I always felt like, I wonder why he's kind of telling me that, but I wanted to share this with, Elliot, Sunshine, Golden, Israel, Tony Jr., and Miss Engle. He was wrong. And, one of my biggest regrets is I didn't get a chance to tell him that. And so I appreciate the opportunity he gave me. He's made a tremendous impact on me in my life. And the basketball coach I am, the father I try to be. And so I want to thank, the Ingle family for sharing Coach Ingle with me. I think I speak for everybody when I say this. Thank you for sharing him with us. I really appreciate it. And, it hit me hard. I know I'm kind of ad-libbing a little bit, Coach Black, so you got to forgive me. But he sent me a message, kind of crazy. Sent me a message July 27th. And he said, "Andre, hope you are doing well. I'm so proud of you. Stay strong through COVID-19. FYI, Miss Engle and I moved back to Utah in February to invest more time with our family. Sunshine, Israel, and our 7 grandkids. I love you more than you love me. Keep the faith, but keep going." And so, again, I want to, the last thing I kind of want to say is, Coach, I wish I could tell you this now, but you were wrong. I love you, Coach. I miss you. And, condolences to the entire Ingle family.
Thanks, Dre. Nick Matone.
What's up, guys? Nick Matone. I played on the team from 2007, 2008. I was only there 1 year. If all the guys know, it was an interesting year. But what I will say is, to just go in the background, I was a transfer from East Carolina University, then went to junior college at Manatee, and I was recruited by Coach Robinson and Coach Ingle to come to Kennesaw State. And just was really excited. And I remember the first time I came up to visit, we played open gym, and just met the guys. I was with Ronell and J-Mac, and I fell in love with the coaches. I fell in love with the team. I don't know how I played on that Saturday when we had to go to do open gym, but I ended up signing a scholarship there, and I'm just so blessed that I was able to just play with you guys for 1 year. And as you guys know, with the situation, and you guys allowed me back on the team. And a lot of people don't know that, my relationship with Coach Ingle continued to actually got better even at the end of the season. And then I ended up going to Southern Poly, and Southern Poly just wasn't a great fit for me. And I actually went back into the office, and I was with Coach Ingle and Dr. Waples. And at that point, I wasn't even worried about basketball, and I just kind of wanted to finish school. But I wanted to finish school at Kennesaw State. And Dr. Waples and Coach Ingle ended up allowing me to finish school for free. So I ended up graduating, and I'm so grateful for that, because my career has been very well off lately, and my condolences to the whole Ingle family. And when J-Mac messaged me today, he was like, hey, we're going to have a call tonight. You want to be on it? And I was like, absolutely. So I learned a lot over my 1 year, met amazing people, and I still, have great relationships with everybody. And that all has to do with Coach Ingle. So I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Nick. RJ.
Yep.
Hey guys, my name is RJ. I did my sophomore year at Kennesaw 2010, 2011. I currently own a sports apparel company that makes uniforms and any apparel that you need. And I also am a coach for a basketball academy down here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't really have a crazy Ingle quote, but I will say my sophomore year, I had just lost my grandfather going into Kennesaw, and my grandmother was sick when I got there. So I was a very angry kid. And Coach Ingle pushed me through that year, him and Robinson. I was very angry. And he would come to me every practice and just be like, hey, RJ, I believe in you. You're here for a reason. Keep working hard. Keep sticking with it. And that got me through the year. And I didn't speak to him for about 2 years after I left. I graduated college and I get a random phone call on my graduation day from Coach Ingle. After 2 years, how do you even know I'm graduating, right? And ever since then, about 3-4 times a year, he would call me, speak to me. I would get like random Marco Polo app videos from him out of the blue. So he probably doesn't know it, but he really got me through that sophomore year. And that coaching staff is probably the epitome of what coaching is. Every single year, every single time I call them, I love you. They'll answer the call. They, everything. Robinson, Ingle. So, and I have no other relationship with any other coach but those two. So that kind of just shows you who that staff is as human beings and how they affect their lives.
Thanks, RJ. Woo, Reginald.
What's going on?
So,
can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah. All right. First of all, man, I want to tell everybody what's up. I know I've been out of the loop. I've been doing a whole lot of stuff here lately, man. But it's just so glad to see you all. For y'all that don't know me, I don't think too many of you don't know me, but name is Reginald Wooten. Played at Kennesaw State from 2004 to 2008. Up under all these great coaches here, which was led by the great Tony Ingle. I've just currently actually moved back up to the Atlanta area and just started doing some day trading. That's what I'm doing currently at the moment. As well as I just got into real estate as well. I'm gonna ride Andres Morgan, the quote that he gave from Coach Ingle. I love you more than you love me. And I take that quote because I'm the father of 3 children. And when you're raising them and you discipline them, sometimes it's stuff you don't want to do to them, but you have to. And I always talk to myself and I tell my kids as well, I love you more than you love me. Me coming to Kennesaw State, it was a blessing. I recently lost my head coach, my high school head coach as well, from COVID. And the last thing I spoke with Coach Ingle about, he reached out to me because him and my high school coach were good friends, which is one of the reasons I was able to play at Kennesaw State. I would say my first time meeting Coach Ingle, I got to the gym, was probably 173 pounds soaking wet. And I got there, and at that time there, I don't think it was any scholarships available, to be honest with you. I know Coach Dykshouse knows that. Was no scholarships available. And so I got there. I was thinking myself, what am I for? And Coach talked to me, and I don't know how my workout went. I guess it went good enough to get me a scholarship the following year. What a lot of people don't know is when I came in to Kennesaw State, I was not on a full scholarship. I was able to get into Kennesaw State because of my grades and the work I put in through high school. After my freshman year, Coach Ingle actually offered me a scholarship. And from that point forward, I did everything I could to prove to Coach Ingle that, he made the best decision, made a good decision on a young kid from Statesboro who had no offers at all. There's no words, and I'll be honest with you all. I see everybody has a nice setup. You're relaxed, and you got a good backdrop. Coach Robinson looks like he's getting ready to take a picture, but I actually was headed home, and I actually pulled over to a parking lot because I didn't want to miss these stories being told of the great Tony Ingle. I originally told myself I was not even going to get on this call, just because I'm grieving in a way that I haven't in a long time. But I told myself I have to do this for the Ingle family, for you all, and to wrap this up. I know I've been talking a long time. Coach Ingle probably was the first male outside of my family to tell me he loves me. And when I heard a man that wasn't from my family tell me, to be honest with you, it was weird to me. It was weird. And over the years, it got more and more comfortable to me, until the point now I can tell another grown man, hey, I love you. And that's one thing Coach Ingle has taught me, and I pass along to my kids: character, integrity, respect. And I was looking for a picture to put up with me and Coach Ingle, and I couldn't find one. And so I thought about it, and I said, I don't have a picture, but the memories that Coach Ingle has given me has done more than a picture could ever do. It's actually made a lasting imprint on my life that I can pass along to my children, and hopefully my children can pass along to their children. And that's all because of Coach Ingle. And I just want to say, Coach Ingle, I love you. We miss you. To the Ingle family, man, I love you all like brothers and sisters. If there's anything I can do, you all just let me know. And to my brothers on this cast as well, I love all of y'all, even though nobody calls me or speaks to me. I still love y'all. And I'm out. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ronell. Jeff Crow.
That was fun. Jeff Croft, I played at Kennesaw from 2007 to 2009. Currently live in Seattle, where I own a tech company. My favorite time with Coach Ingle was the first time that I ever met him, which set the tone for the next 3 years of my life. Similar to JD, I had played at an NAIA school my freshman year and wanted something more. And actually sat out the next year and didn't play anywhere. And through some connections, I ended up in Coach Ingle's office, and he said that he heard I could play a little bit and wanted to know if I wanted an opportunity to play there, and that he would give me a chance to try out, essentially. And I said that was all I needed. And he said, just don't hurt one of my good players. Which actually ended up happening. The very first time I played, J-Mac rolled his ankle, of course, on my foot. And he came in the training room, and me and J-Mac were in there. And he said, I told you not to hurt one of my good players, but you lived up to the hype. Would love to have you a part of the team. And
Thanks, Jeff. B. Rags, Brent Ragsdale.
Oh man, Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for, I guess, inviting me. JD told me about it, and it's crazy how things happen because I haven't talked to anybody in years. And I randomly saw JD's profile. I added him anyway. I added Israel, and I was able to see what happened. And JD told me what was happening, and yeah, of course, my heart's broke like everybody else. I know you guys can't see me that well, but I'm in the Middle East right now, so it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, my wife's asleep, so I got to be quiet. I hope you guys can understand that. I played at Kennesaw State, 2005 to 2007. Currently, I have a management company, and I coach basketball here in the Middle East on the professional level, and I've been coaching in China, you know, like CBA, NBL. But so everything's great, man. Thank God. And I was able to play professionally for a while, for 7, 8 years. So that was great. What else you want to know? My favorite Tony Ingle quote?
Yep.
Dang. He had a lot of good jokes, man. And sometimes I tell my players some of these jokes, you know, like about the joke with the military colonel, or I use, you know, the guy we had, the alligator, you know what I mean? Like, and he said they had to poke him in the eye. He was like, I'll do it if you don't poke me in the eye. You know, I use that joke to this day, you know, to break the ice. Also with my players, like I don't know if the younger guys did this, but I remember one time we lost a really bad game. Like we lost by like 30. And we thought we were going to come to practice and he was going to kill us. And he just was like, okay, let's play knockout. So we played knockout for 20 minutes and left. I was like, so that was one of the things I loved about Coach Ingle, is that you never knew what he was going to do in a way, but you knew it was going to reach you in a different way. Mm-hmm. And so there's so many things I still do to this day, like how I coach defense. Everybody has to be one. You know, like how, you know, like this. I don't know if y'all can see me, but, you know, who's number one?
Mm-hmm.
I do this to this day. Like whenever I'm in a huddle, it could be for business or anything. I always have my index finger out, who's number one. And I don't know. My favorite quote probably would be from Coach Ingle's, like, do you want some money? I remember he told me that. You know, not in a negative way, but like, you know, he was basically saying, do you want the scholarship? Because like a lot of you, I didn't have too many offers, but I did have a lot of offers, but not the offers I wanted. And he just called me at like 2 a.m. and he was like, I got some money for you. And it was just so funny. And he actually made me, like a lot of you guys, he made me try out for the team against Ronell. So I went in the gym, I destroyed Ronell. And he just said, I'll talk to you later. And then like 3 days later, I'm at my friend's house. We were like having a party or something. And he just calls me at 2 a.m. and was like, I got some money for you. And that was my favorite Tony Ingle quote, because it allowed me to stay home in Atlanta. And I don't know what would have happened to me if I didn't go to Kennesaw State, because everybody's on different paths in life and things like this. So I needed to be home, and I needed a structure with Coach Ingle, and even with the coaching staffs, you know, like all of you. Like, man, I really looked up to you guys because you guys all have families, men of faith, men of God, men of principle. And you guys just worked your asses off. And I always looked up to you guys for that. So I guess that's all I can say right now. I just woke up. I'm still in my robe. So I don't want to keep talking, man. We'll talk later.
Appreciate it, Brent. Coach Rowe.
What's a good word? Everybody good? Man, it's so good to see you guys. Damn, it's been a long time.
Yes.
It's better to see that y'all have adopted to my team. See, Coach has gotten rid of his, and it's nice to see some of y'all's the hairlines getting back closer to mine. And I was introduced to Coach Ingle. I was coaching at UMKC at the time, and Montez introduced me to him. I think Montez, jump in and tell me if I'm telling this part of the story right. You all flew into Kansas City, and you were supposed to go play at K-State, but we had a snowstorm. Am I telling that part right? And y'all needed a place to practice.
Yep.
And I think Montez called me, and did y'all end up practicing at our place? I lose this part of the story.
No, we didn't.
Okay, but you had called, and Montez and I had known each other, and the Final Four was in Atlanta that year. I think it was 2006 or 2007, and Montez and I had talked in like I don't know, final selection Sunday time, and he said, "Hey, I think we're gonna have an opening. You know, we're coaches looking, blah blah blah." And he connected me with Coach Ingle, and anybody that has ever been on a phone call with Coach Ingle or in a room with him knows that the conversation is like a ping pong. It's going every which way is Sunday, and shared this with JD or JMac today, and so we get on the phone, and he wants to know about you because that's just what he is. And he says, you know, well, Coach, first of all, like, how the hell do I say your name? And, you know, so I go through that, and that took a minute, but after that, then I had to tell him how to pronounce my last name and all that stuff. And he said, well, where are you from? And I said, well, you know, I'm originally from Kansas. And the whole in Hutchinson and vowed that I was going to win a national championship. And 35 minutes later, I think we were in some different layer of the conversation, and we never talked basketball. And he said, well, when are you getting in for the Final Four? And I said, like Wednesday or Thursday. And he said, well, we'll just come by the office. I said, okay. He said, well, just let me know when you get in and come by the office. So I call Coach Robinson, and I said, hey, I think the conversation went good. And he said, yeah, that's great. And he said, what did he tell you to do? And I said, he told me to come by the office. And he just started laughing. He said, oh man, he said, he told you to come by the office. And he said, yeah, he said, you're gonna be here all night. He said, the man can talk. You're gonna be here all night. And I think I'm not mistaken. And Montez, again, you tell me, my memory's a little jaded on this. I think when I got there, I had no idea what time to show up, but you had told me just show up at like 6. And I think, if you're still on, I think you were there too. But if I'm not mistaken, like Coach Ingle liked to play these little side games with everybody. And I think like like he wanted to see how long, first of all, he could keep me there and keep me talking. But second of all, he wanted to see how long he could keep both of you there. But also the third phase of the bet was how long he could keep Evan there before Evan would doze off and then politely excuse himself from the office. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Does that sound like something Coach Ingle would do?
That happened at least more than once.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, without question. And I'll preface this. So my first year on the staff, it was Coach Robinson, myself, and Coach Black. And I apparently did this thing where I would hear a fact and I would say like, huh? Like, what the hell are you talking about? And Coach Ingle made a game of it, so he'd repeat it. And like Coach Robinson let me in on the joke, but it was the only damn thing Evan would laugh about. So we just kept it going for like the entire year. And Evan would just die laughing. And like he thought that was the funniest thing. Well,
Jay, I still do that to my kids. My kids say, huh? I do the same thing to them.
Oh, I mean, and I mean, that's just the way he just kept everything so interesting. And then, you know, Coach Mata comes in and, you know, he's like 0 to 60 in 3.2. And, you know, like, so staff meetings went from 3 hours to 6 hours. And, you know, it was so fun to just sit back and watch kind of him try to flip the puzzle pieces over. And, you know, that's one thing I think that where he was just great. And I think Ronell, you know, kind of put it about as eloquently as you could. It's just like, he just loved to kind of figure stuff out. And, you know, I just always felt like you could know him 50 years or 50 seconds, but you know that you, like Tony Ingle got inside of your heart in at any point in time during your conversation with him, and you never forgot him. And, you know, like, I think I was with him for years, and I didn't realize just how much Coach Ingle was in me until I started, you know, running my own program. And, you know, like when I became a head coach and you start thinking completely differently and your vision kind of changes, all the stuff that he had kind of put all of us through on his staff to be prepared to you know, run our own program made sense. And, you know, he did so without telling you. Like he always said, you know, I'll prepare the heart, you prepare the lesson. Like he did that in all of us. And even hearing, you know, younger players talk about the impact he made with you guys. I mean, look how many of you all are still in basketball, and all roads to your livelihood now lead back to Tony Ingle. I mean, without Tony Ingle, JD Pollock isn't a coach. Without Tony Ingle, J-Mac's not a coach. Without Tony Ingle, Brent Ragsdale's not a coach. You know, and think about this, like Ronell is coaching at a different level, and I'm just catching the back end of this. So if I miss something, then feel free to interject. But I mean, he just came in everybody's life at a very, you know, opportune time, and you knew right away, like, this guy is onto something, because like he invested in people. And my first two bosses, like he showed up in my life at just the right time. And my first two bosses were not family people. They were very, very competitive guys, much like Coach Ingle was competitive. But, you know, we'd practice for Christmas, or just because, you know, I worked for guys that didn't want to be around their family. And, you know, I didn't know what it meant to, you know, be able to do both. And, you know, lo and behold, like anybody that knew Coach Ingle knew, like, his family was number one, you know, and his players were number 1A. And he found a way to weave those together about as well as you could. But if Jeannie or the kids needed something, you know, the red light went on, and it was, you didn't pass go. Like it was priority one. And I was really conflicted as a young coach with some experience and trying to figure out, my wife and I were getting married. We wanted to have kids. What does this look like? And do you have to sacrifice everything to do one or the other? He popped in my life, right at the right time. And, anybody on the call that's ever worked for him, I mean, he was not the easiest dude to work for, but on the back end of it, like you wouldn't change it for the world because of all the different nuances that he gave you exposure to, and the different things that you had no idea at the time you were doing. But like on the back end of it, you're like, oh, well, hell, that definitely makes sense now because, we hadn't lived long enough and we hadn't gone through enough experiences. And whether basketball is a part of it or not, being a father and a husband was what came before basketball with him. And I know, like, I think J-Mac, I got on the back end of his and his communication about, Miss Jeannie, and he loved her to death, and those boys and Sunshine, and it's just it resonated with me because I wasn't sure you could have both. And it's one of the best things I think he'd ever done. And it's cool to hear all you guys now who played for him, who are now fathers, that are raising your kids on Tony Ingleisms and values and lessons that you learned from him. But I just think that for me, I don't have a favorite quote. I mean, there's so damn many of them, but mine, and I'll raise a glass to this. Budweiser hasn't laid off the third shift in my house, so I'm good. But I think that's when he said he joined the Mormon Church. But I joke that like he ended every conversation, it sounds like, with all of us, like, I love you more than you love me. And I mean, I tell my kids that, just like it sounds like Ronell tells his kids that. And it's just so cool. Like he found a way to, in his own style, rip your ass and then put your arm around you. And one of my favorite things is when he tried to kick Nick Matone out of practice, and like I mean, Nick wasn't running that day, and his team was getting their ass kicked.
I learned.
Nick wasn't running, and I mean, there's just so many things. And he as mad as he was at Ladarius, Ladarius was going to church with him the next day, and he found a way to put his arm around all of us in our own way. And like the impact that he's made in everybody's life is such about the human being who he is. And to me, like, the greatest compliment we could all give him is exactly what's going on today, is paying it forward and living our life, through the lessons and teachings that he has. And I echo the sentiments of everybody. And I know I'm long-winded, but the Ingle family is just a phenomenal group of people. My family grieves for him, and I'm so thankful that he got the last few years with those grandkids in Utah, and got to be around Sunshine and Izzy's little kids, and even cooler, like, to hear the excitement on his voice when Tony Jr. was going through his run last year in a state tournament. But he's just a phenomenal man, and I just appreciate all he invested in all of us.
Thank you, Coach Roth.
Yeah, sorry, that
Alex,
was long.
Oatmeal.
All right, what's up, guys? Oh man, yeah, good seeing everybody. I haven't seen a lot of you guys in years.
Hello.
Share the same. What's up, Brent? Yeah, I mean, I share the same sentiments a lot of you guys have said already. Kennesaw was definitely, a school that, and a coaching staff that took a chance on me. I wasn't the highest recruited guy out of high school, and, created some bonds that, even if I don't see some of you guys for years, we pick up right where we left off. And that's, kind of a special bond you can only share with a handful of people in your life. So it means a lot. my time at Kennesaw ended a little weird. I had a injury and forgot to go to class for a semester or two. Coach Dr. House probably loves that. But it was kind of a huge turning point in my life, and there was probably some resentment that I held towards Coach Ingle when that kind of ended. But what he kind of helped me realize through the years, through the random times we'd bump into each other. I don't know if some of you guys know this or not, but I'm almost 7 foot, and I was a server at a Mexican restaurant at Papacitos down the road from Kennesaw. And he and his whole family would come in like once a week, it felt like. And the first couple times I'm like, oh hell, I gotta see Coach Ingle. But he his whole family just had such a huge smile on their face and this pure joy to see me and kind of care about me as a man, as opposed to just, the basketball level. It was, it just kind of had this wearing impact on me where I didn't quite see it at first, but, through the year with him, because he wasn't, the way Kennesaw ended, I wish it would have been better, but it was, it taught me a lot, growing up, early 20s and everything. And I'd bump into him at Final Fours. It was always in the strangest place. I was there chaperoning J-Mac to make sure he made it home safely every night. But he I don't know. He would just every time I'd see him, he would just throw his number ones up. He was happy to see me. He still remembered my mom's first and last name, which is different than mine. So that's a hell of a memory. Every time I'd bump into Coach Robinson or just anybody around that KSU family, Coach Roth, everybody, I don't know. It was just this joy and these memories of this like brotherhood that was gained. And a lot of it came from Coach Ingle. He was such a good leader, as a man and helped a lot of us grow in ways that's hard to even put a finger on, so it's, I just, was shaken by the news yesterday, as we all were, and just, big prayers to the Ingle family and they're getting through this. So, but yeah, good to see you guys, and hopefully see a lot of you guys soon.
Thanks, Alex. Spencer Dixon.
Yeah. What's up, man?
What's going
Spencer
on?
Dixon. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So what we're doing is just telling y'all, I went to Kennesaw State from 2008 to 2012. What I'm doing now, I do basketball training full time, player development, and I also do AAU coaching. Got a couple guys, some good guys that probably end up going to college someday. My favorite quote, real quick, man, this thing with Coach Ingle, man, kind of hit me different than I even thought it would. Had a whole lot of memories coming back to me, you know what I'm saying? My favorite quote, I guess, Coach Ingle used to say would be like, hey, when you point the finger, it's 3 more fingers pointing back at you. And I don't know if y'all know or not, I hate to get emotional, man. I don't know if y'all know or not, man, but I done got in some trouble, man. If you don't know what it don't even matter, man, because it's part of the story. I went to prison, man. And for a minute, dog, I was just, oh man, if this ain't happen, I wouldn't be like, it wouldn't happen like this. If this person ain't do this, if this person ain't do that, point that finger, you know what I'm saying? And I really had to just realize that, it's my fault, stop pointing that finger like Coach Ingle say, man. And so really to come full circle, man. And now what I do now, even if something is not my fault, man, there's some kind of way there's some kind of way you can twist and turn it to where it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? For whatever situation that ever happened, man. So that's one thing that really stuck with me, and I didn't think about that all day with Coach Ingle. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it short, man. But I gotta tell y'all a big memory I had with Coach Ingle, man. I had gotten into some trouble on campus, My boy J-Mac actually ended up taking the fall, for us getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting kicked off of campus. And Coach Ingle, he had talked with me. Y'all know how Coach Ingle get mad. He's stern, man. When he feels some type of way, he's stern about it. So he was talking to me, and he was pointing to me. He said, "Spencer, look me in my eyes, man. Look me in my eyes and tell me that you're gonna do better for me." And he like, "Don't lie to me. You tell me the truth. You're gonna do better." And I told him, I said, "Man, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do right. I'm gonna do better." And he said, "Well, I'm about to go to this AD office, the athletic director office. And I'm gonna fight to the death so that you can stay in school here and you can play basketball. And for whatever happened in that office, I'll continue to play basketball." You know what I'm saying? So that's what I remember about Coach Ingle, man. Coach Ingle always fought for me, dog. Always fought for me, man. So I'm sad, bro. Like, I didn't even know that it would hit me like this, man. I'm sad, dog. I'm sad because Coach Ingle, man, like, it's hard to realize when you're in the moment, bro, but he just for everybody, bro. He for everybody. He really loved everybody, bro. And one thing I've been telling myself today, dog, like, one thing for sure, two things for certain, bro. Coach Ingle in heaven, bro. That's a fact, bro. And I think everybody know that, bro. It's a fact, bro. Coach Ingle in heaven, man. So I just, it's sad, bro, but at the same time, it's like, it's a happy time at the same time, man. Coach Ingle, he in a better place, man. Coach Ingle, I really believe Coach Ingle served his purpose, dog. He served his purpose, man. And, like everybody say, it's good to see y'all. Hopefully we can see each other more often. But it's a sad day, but it's also a happy day, man. You got to think about it. Like, Coach Ingle in a better place. We all here seeing each other, speaking to each other. And it's just love, man. So, like you say, man, I love y'all. Got love for y'all, man. Everybody here, prayers to the family, prayers for all y'all, man. If y'all ever want to, whatever, man, I'm here for whatever, man. Y'all holler at me about anything, however it go, man. I love y'all, man.
Appreciate that, Spencer. Hey, I know Matt wanted to say something on behalf of his brother.
Yeah, I just know, obviously, Stephen Harum. He was a walk-on guy.
It was the first time we recruited you.
Yeah.
Dang, Matt, you had to work in the fact your brother was a walk-on guy?
Of course, man.
Jeez,
Of course.
man. Damn.
That's what he led with. That's what he led with.
I know.
So leading into the story is
Regan ended up playing though. He helped us.
Yeah,
so
way to be
leading
nice,
into the
though.
story is he was a walk-on guy, and I think everybody used to call him 315 for his workouts and stuff. He was pretty big back in the day, strong guy. But he always used to tell me, he's like, man, I'm a walk-on, and I flew from Atlanta to Detroit to try to get to a different game out in St. Louis and this and that. And then I ended up starting. Like, where's my scholarship, man? I'm eating Taco Bell in the airport and flying by myself through Detroit to get to St. Louis and all this kind of stuff. And I'm starting against a 7-footer and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, he always used to talk about
the Greek guy. The Greek guy. Yeah.
We always used to go back and forth about, whose teams were better. And, obviously I think I can speak on behalf of a lot of the guys on years I were there. I think we underachieved a lot more, but Coach always pushed us to kind of be the best we could. But yeah, I know Steve always had great things to talk about him, and kind of the earlier story about my dad passing and Coach calling me. Coach's next call was to Steve, and he's like, hey, what's going on with Matt and this and that. But, Steve always loved Coach. And Coach, he always just telling me, he goes, Matt, I love you, but not as much as your brother. Not as much as your brother yet, but I still love you, kind of thing. So I know he's saddened by this. He's actually got 2 kids now, so that's why he's not here and trying to do the whole parent life thing with that. But I know he wants to say, obviously, that he misses Coach. And, I didn't quite say it, didn't remind, but to echo everybody else here, the Ingle family, if you need anything, I'm sure every person on this call will be there for you if you need anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, before I wrap it up, does anybody else want to say anything?
Hey, Coach, I just want to ask, like, how many of y'all have it? I mean, Spencer just hit on something. Like, how many of y'all have ever thought, when shit gets tough, inferior man blames others, superior man blames himself. Like, how many times did you guys hear that?
All the time.
Right? I mean, God dang, like all the time. And like I tell my players that, and you know, I've told them they can't play dead in a John Wayne movie. I mean, I think that was one of the coaches like go-tos. Like, can't play dead in a John Wayne movie. And I mean, just so many. And I apologize if this was brought up at the beginning. We had a game I couldn't get on at the start, but like I just think about that all the time when I've got hard decisions. Kind of like what Spencer was saying. You know, everybody goes through stuff, and we all go through it at our own you know, level. But like, inferior man blames others, superior blames himself, and you always can trace it back to you. And without Tony Ingle, I wouldn't know that, and I'm sure you guys wouldn't either.
What's crazy, Coach, is like with that quote, like you saying it again. First of all, it puts me right back in that locker room, which was, you know. So I told my wife, some of you guys know her, but she's an athlete, and so she gets all of when I get intense, she understands it. And I'm like, I've never had a coach be able to talk about such serious stuff and it never be corny. It never be like lame. You know, like he can look you in your eye and it's like, I swear to God, I'll give you anything I can. And it's like even Coach Dutch, my boss right now, he can't talk to the guys like that. He's an unbelievable basketball coach. He can't look a guy in the eye and just say that. He can't say, you know, superior man blames himself. They look at him like, what the hell are you talking about? And of course there's different personalities and style and stuff, but he could come across any point he wanted. Even the Larry Bird story, you know, he'd literally grab somebody's jersey and he'd be like, you're a goddamn Celtic. And it's like, what coach can go there? And it's like, I feel that, as opposed to like, what are we talking about right now? You know, like I felt pride in not being a Celtic that day, you know, like it didn't matter what it was. He made you feel it. And so not only do you remember it, like it resonated with you. So it's, at this point, it's hard to think of a quote that he didn't give me. Like I don't even have it. Like, if I have a quote, it's from him.
I agree. And how you, like, I think Brent mentioned it. Like, so this year in my huddle, same thing, Brent, like we're not allowed to bring our hands in, right? So we got our one fingers up and we shake hands exactly like Coach Ingle did with that one finger together. And I mean, it's such a part of like who you are. And I mean, I can only imagine having played for him. And like, if you guys want to hear some really good stories from the early Tony Ingle days, the cartwheel barking dog, like I think Evan's got some just because he grew up at his camps. But Scott Webb and I were on the phone today for about 30 minutes, and he got into some like old Tony Ingle stories. And man, they were great. But like his impact on people never changed. But that whole one thing, like that's pretty deep in all of us too. And that's all I got. Thanks for putting this together, Evan.
Ev, the main thing I want everybody to remember is I would do anything to hear one last time at the banquet. I went over to England or Scotland, and he scored 34 points, 10 rebounds, 12 blocks. And then the boys' game started. Jesus. Crushed John Allison, and I love
it. Crushed him for years.
Montez wanted to beat the shit out of him.
He just didn't want to lift. Hated Johnny.
He didn't want to lift.
I would do anything to hear that. I used to look forward to that every banquet. Oh, I'd laugh every time.
Yeah, how about this? How about the story of finding his first basketball?
Oh my God!
Oh man, that's Matt Harem's favorite.
Going to the dumpster.
Oh my God!
Oh, the dumpster story. Oh yeah.
Oh, I was so mad you messed with this name. Oh man.
Coach Black, it was our, I think it was our year that Alex, so Alex got like 5 names, but I think it was our year. So it was like 45 minutes was 45 minutes into practice. All of a sudden, Coach Ingle goes, guys, bring it in.
Oh my God.
Go to the middle of the court. He goes, doesn't Alex look like some oatmeal? Like, oh shit. Like, hey. For sure.
How about when he introduced the world of grits?
I'm going to say grits. Yeah, grits.
At the damn banquet, he gets up there and Alex has a shirt that he found in his pocket and he like pulls it out and he's just so happy to be part of a team. And that thing needed to be ironed like 9 times. And he's standing on stage and I don't think Coach knew his name. He said, well, this is Alex and, he's a manager and he's got a hefty body and we sure appreciate him because he looks like grits. What the hell? Like, who the hell thinks of that?
Can you imagine saying that today? Like, in the 2020
He's got a hefty body, and we sure appreciate him.
And now, remember he used to say about me, he can't jump over an egg. Y'all remember that? Safe to get over here.
Well, that was true, though.
That was very true. Very true. Very true.
We also could tell a lot of stories about Coach in the coaches meetings and on the sidelines. Some of the favorite ones for me is when he'd say, ref, are you telling me I can't call timeout? The ref comes over and is like, what? Or no, he said, no, he didn't, not timeout. He'd say, ref, you telling me I can't sub? And the ref would come over like, Coach, you got nobody at the scorer's table. He's like, you telling me I can't sub? And the ref was like, Coach, who do you want to sub for? And he goes, I want to sub for you. You're horrible.
No wonder why we ain't getting no calls.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
we never got any calls.
Or the time that he told Montez, Gary, who was it that he told? He said, take your helmet off and get in the game.
Brandon Peters. Hey, I'll never forget it.
No, hello. We were in Alaska. Hold on, guys, you gotta listen to this one. We were in Alaska. No, we were winning. We were beating Lamar. Coach wanted to beat Lamar so bad because Billy Tubbs had beat him by like 30 when he was at Oklahoma. So we were up 20 in Alaska. So Coach was like, who we gonna put in? And we were like, Coach, Brandon ain't in by like 30. So Brandon said, Brandon, get in. Brandon is kneeling down at the table when we're in the huddle. And Coach is like, where the hell is Brandon? He's like, Coach, you over at the table. We had a damn timeout. Brandon is still sitting there at the table.
He literally didn't know how to check in the game. He didn't know.
Hey, I got something funny for y'all, dog.
Kelvin, hold on one second. Kelvin. He was the worst college basketball player that I've ever seen in my entire life. He's a great dude. He's the worst college basketball player I've ever seen in my life. Go ahead, Kelvin.
That's pretty
cool. Oh my God.
I got something funny for y'all, man.
And that was Israel guy.
We practicing, right? And I think we were being soft that day, man. Being soft that day or summer. Coach having a problem with Markeith, man. He told everybody to get on the side, man. He said, Markeith, run at me, man. Run at me. I'll take the ball.
I remember that. Oh my God.
He damn sure did.
Hey, Markeith looking at everybody like, man, serious, man. Like, am I supposed to do this? So he went one time.
His ass.
He went one time, saw Coach Ingle started talking about, that's all you got. Hey, Markeith took.
You know what's crazy? Was Markeith was in Lebanon with me here playing basketball.
Yeah. Wow.
How crazy is that?
That's wild. That's years apart.
Out here playing.
Man. Hey, Markeith ran Coach Ingle smack over, dog.
Oh my goodness, I'll never forget.
Man, he ran his ass over. Wow. Hey, remember when Coach and Markeith were about to fight in the parking lot in the at the practice gym before we went to Canada?
Oh my goodness, yes, man.
Montez, you and I had been on the road, and we show up. Remember we were supposed to go to London, and then we were supposed to go to like Costa Rica, and then Ronnie pulled the old bait and switch, and we ended up going to Windsor, Canada.
Typical Ron Smith behavior.
Montez and I show up at, hey man, had to save money on that Ruby Tuesday.
Ruby Tuesdays.
Y'all were missing me making the travel plans. Yeah,
oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
We had a lot. Coach, we had a lot of ham steak and like 4:30 in the afternoon. But it was what it was. But like Coach Robinson and I have been on the road in July. We show up for like the last practice, and we're like, "The hell's going on?" The gym's cleared. And I think like it might have been shooting shots, and everybody else is in the match, and they went out and they were standing behind. Remember that old like 18-wheeler that was behind the practice? They were yelling at each other in the parking lot, and then coach made everybody run outside. I don't understand like what the hell happened. I got there for like the last 20 minutes. But then coach bought everybody to dinner and everything was all right. So
the best one for me though was when we were in Alaska and we were about to go out. Coach had already talked to the team, so you got like 2 minutes to get out. And so all the teams run out there, and all of us coaches. That's when we would normally like go to the bathroom. We'd wait on coach, and then we'd go out. Right? Montez, there's one stall. Montez goes to the bathroom. He's got his arm propped up on the side. He takes a 5-minute piss, and and we're all late coming out to they're like, "Where's your coach?" All of y'all were like huddled up, like, "What? Y'all know who?" Oh man, it was awful. It was awful. Hey, I'm sure we could do this all night. Let me wrap this up. I'm not gonna talk long, but I want to just have a couple minutes because. Man, I met Coach Ingle when I was 7 years old. I was 7 years old. He taught me so much. His basketball camp gave me a love for basketball that changed my life. And I wrote this on social media today, but then decades later, I'm working at a bank after playing and being a graduate assistant. And I just call coach to check on him. And 8 hours later, he hires me as his assistant coach. And absolutely changed my life again. Man, when I think about Coach Ingle, there's just not very many better men than Tony Ingle. I mean, you know what's amazing about what we've all said is I bet you at one point we all thought, I wonder why he loves me so much. Does he tell everybody that he loves them? I love you more than he loves me? Because there was a time where I thought he only said that to me. And because he was so genuine and authentic, it was real. And so you thought like, why am I so special to this guy? And honestly, it took me
John Allison.
Well, yeah. But it took me years to really get and understand what it is that he started working on with me when I was 7 years old at Atlanta Pro basketball camp, playing against Golden and seeing Tony and Elliott was a stud and everybody looked up to him. And I say this, and I haven't seen a lot of you guys in years. And part of it is because of what happened with me when I had to leave Kennesaw. It was definitely the darkest, most difficult moment of my life. Oh man. And Coach Ingle came to my house, and I mean, he just loved me. He loved me. He had my back. He did what he always did. He did what he did with every one of you guys. And I'll never forget Coach Ingle. I don't think any of us will. We could never repay him. Andre, you said, you didn't get a chance to tell him that he was wrong and tell him that he loved you. Man, I think he knew it. I think he knew it. We talked about you a lot after.
Amen to that.
We especially when you first left, we talked about you a lot. But he knew it. He knew. He knew we all loved him. And I believe that he genuinely loved us. Man, this isn't easy for any of us. And I think, honestly, like my opinion, I think Coach would want us to cry. I think he'd want us to express our emotions. He was the best speaker I've ever heard in my entire life. I mean, that man, I heard the speeches over and over and over, and they still challenged me, inspired me, made me laugh, made me cry. And I could finish this sentence and I'm still in tears. So I think he would want us to not try to bottle up our emotions and try to hide how we feel. I think he would want us to express that. And then I think he would want us to carry out his legacy and love people like ridiculously, and be selfless and love our families. You know, one of the things that stuck out at me that he would say is the best gift I can give to my kids is to love their mom. And man, that's always stuck with me. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't love my wife like he loves Jeannie. I try, I just ain't got there yet. But man, and just knowing his story and everything that he overcame to get and to get to the places that he got to and accomplish what he did, man, we were in the presence of greatness. So, man, I just want to challenge all of us to carry that on. Remember the stuff we talked about. Remember the stuff that he taught us. And man, let's be better. Let's have people one day do one of these for us and say things that they think are attributed to us, but really we know that came from Coach.
Yeah.
So I just want to close by saying thank you to Elliot and Sunshine and Golden and Israel and Tony Jr. and Jeannie. Man, they shared Coach with us selflessly. And I think we probably ought to end this with what Coach said to all of us, right? Which is, I love you more than you love me. We love you.
Love you more than you love me.
Yep.